I'm going to let Abel and Kyle introduce themselves. These are my wonderful colleagues from Boise State HR, and they are on the fantastic growth team. If you don't know much about the growth team, you're going to learn today. So Abel, take it away.
Good morning, everybody. Super excited to be here. It's exciting to be on these Fireside chats and to look across these Zoom cameras and see all your faces, some of which I've worked with over the past 3 years, and some of which I've just heard your name or it's been on a spreadsheet, but I'm able to now see some of those faces. So I'm excited to be here today. A little bit about me, for those that don't know me, I have been with Boise State HR for a few years now, and in a different capacity and role in recruiting. And I've since joined the growth team, and I'm excited to be a part of that. Working with a lot more with Casey, who's wonderful, as you guys know, and some other great members of the team. As you may or may not know, we've kind of aligned our teams to kind of be around the employee experience, and the growth team are a big part of that is just caring for you, the employees, and who you are and what's important to you while you're here with our Boise State family. So kind of that's what we're about. A little bit more about me, who I am. This is who I am by day, the picture on the left. I have 3 beautiful children, and I've married Wonder Woman, and she's amazing. Beautiful children. By night, my wife and I love to play the role of fixer-upper Joanna Gaines, and the husband, I can't even remember his name. But we love home renovations. We find things to do in our house to make it better. And it seems like sometimes we'll just break something just so we can make it better and say we got something to do, especially in this COVID world. I don't know if any of you have hobbies, but that's our hobby. What's great about the Fixer Upper show is not only are we like them in the fact that we enjoy home renovations, but I'm very much like Chip. I'm a big goof. And so, I mess with my wife as we do projects, and I'm playing the guitar with a piece of wood. So anyway, I thought that was very fitting. Again, what do we do? What do I do? My sole focus is really on the employee experience. Again, while you're here with Boise State, some of the things that we're really looking hard to improve, especially obviously this year is the evaluation season coming up, but also focusing on other things around what's a passion about us, which is the experience, giving recognition, professional growth, learning and development. So all those areas are what's important to me and what we're here to do and to become better with as we serve on the growth team. So that's a little bit about us. That's a little about me, who I am personally, what my interests are. And then I'll go ahead and kick it over to Kyle, introduce him. He's the newest member of our team and my colleague. And so go ahead and take it away, Kyle.
Appreciate that, Abel. Good morning, everyone. Excited to present some content to you all today. And it's my 4th week, I believe, here at Boise State. So I feel like I've been here for 2 years. Time's going by really fast, so I'm enjoying every moment of it. Let's see. Prior to Boise State, I was a HR consultant for Ada County. I've been in HR in some kind of capacity since 2012. And as you see to the left, my family, 4 awesome kids, beautiful wife. When I have downtime, I'm the team manager for my daughter's soccer team, on the board of the Children's Home Society here in Idaho, also involved with my son's Cub Scouting pack. So it's a lot of busy work in the Galloway household, outside of work as well, but we're loving life. And really what I do for BSU is very similar to what Abel conveyed earlier. It's really focusing on the employee experience, on how they're going to grow professionally. Right now I'm tasked with performance evaluations for this upcoming season, and also working on a foundation to ensure that we have something maybe a little bit more current with times, and making sure that maybe we're having more one-on-one basis. So for the next evaluation season, you'll see, we hope to have some new things, and we are looking to ensure that, we have input from employees and managers across the campus to ensure that it works campus-wide. So that's a little bit about myself. And like I said, I'm looking forward to presenting to you all today.
Sorry, guys, hit the wrong button. And just so everybody knows, these gentlemen are genuinely some of the nicest individuals you will ever get to come in contact with. So if you guys have questions as they're presenting, please feel free to unmic or throw thoughts, questions in chat. We're here for you to answer questions in the moment, as well as at the end of their presentation, if you'd prefer to wait till then. But you know how my format works. We love a conversation. So moving on, take it away, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Casey. We're super excited to be here. Thanks, Kyle, for the introduction as well. I'm super excited to work with Kyle. He's such an amazing person, and we get along great. We're talking about hitting up the basketball courts again in the rec center once we get back to campus. So we'll be putting together an all-star team for anybody who wants to play. It'll be our team versus Sean and his team. So, you know, he better get together a team. It's going to be the squad team. It's like Space Jam all over again.
You got it.
So going into the next slide here. So as we reach the evaluation season, the biggest, and let me make sure I emphasize that, the biggest focus this year is going to be about empathy and evaluations. One of my favorite quotes here, and you can obviously read this, but it's empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. This year, obviously has been different. For some, it's been harder. For some, it may just be different. This morning, I had an opportunity, as I do most mornings, to take my two boys to school and preschool. And I was driving to drop them off this morning, and I was listening to the radio, 107.9, if you guys care to know. I always listen to that station. My wife says I have a crush on Delilah, which probably is true, but don't tell her that. But we were sitting there listening in the car and listening to Delilah, and people were calling in talking about, the hardships that they faced this year. And some of those things kind of touched me a little bit. Someone had mentioned that their house burnt down this year. Another person said that their infant daughter or son was diagnosed with terminal cancer. That's hard, right? So for me personally, it's not just us. It's not just Boise State. This year has been difficult for many people. As we move into the evaluation season, our focus is going to be in empathy. And again, empathy maybe isn't a pass card, right? It's just being empathetic and feeling what others are feeling and being mindful of what people may or may not be going through and how our work situation has changed this year. We're not in an office. We can't walk down the aisle and talk to our colleague. Maybe we can't collaborate as effectively. Maybe we don't feel as effective because of our sleeping patterns have changed. A part of us are fathers and mothers and teachers and full-time, professional faculty and staff. And we wear many hats, as Casey shows every time she gets on here, which I so honor and encourage her bravery there. So as we move into that, just keep in mind the empathy fact, and we will stress this more, and we'll talk about what that looks like and what it doesn't look like, and we'll do more about that in the trainings that are going to be coming up. So anyway, I just thought that was cool. Any thoughts, any ideas, anything you want to share, please feel free to unmic. Like Casey said, we'd love to have conversations. But that's going to be our focus this year. And if we don't have any thoughts in the chat box, I'll let Casey, I'm sure she's monitoring the chat box as well. But I'll turn it over to Kyle, and he'll talk a little bit about the next slide.
We have to do the Zoom pause.
Awesome.
I didn't realize that this was like a thing. Like I was trying to do it, but I usually fill it with talking, but that gives you guys time to text. It's so uncomfortable, but you guys are all wonderful. Okay, Kyle, why don't you talk a little bit about what empathy is going to look like? And then if people have questions, again, if you feel more comfortable to throw things in chat, I'm here for you.
Thank you for that. Really, we want to take some time to hear from you all today about what you are feeling going into the evaluation season. Have you experienced anything that was, like Abel said, different? Does the year feel different about your workload, or we're adjusting working from home? Some have maybe never left the office, but is it a different feeling being in the office without your peers? Or so if you have a couple moments to think about maybe how you feel you want your evaluation theme to go through this year, feel free to put it into the box or unmic and really let us know. We really want to know how you guys are feeling, so that way when we take your concerns to the management trainings, we want to put a heavy emphasis on that to ensure that we're getting what you guys are worried about out to the managers to ensure that we have a successful implementation of the evaluation period for this upcoming year. So I'll take a moment to pause for a quick second, and Casey, if you see anything in the chat, let us know. Or
and feel free to tell us a little bit. It's
my timer on already.
I would love to start your timer on iReady.
I'm on iReady.
See, this is what I think a lot of, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that some people are feeling a lot of trepidation coming up to performance evaluations for moments just like I just had. Like
Right.
You can be in a meeting and all of a sudden, like all heck breaks loose behind you, but your performance is not like one singular incident where your 5-year-old asks you to set a timer for their iReady, or the time that you have to walk away to like get something handled so you can come back to work.
Exactly. And, I'm going through something very similar. We have 3 kids doing online schooling. My wife's working from home. I'm working from home. So I'm on the Zoom call on my phone because my internet connection is very slow. So I would hope that's not going to dock me any points for my evaluation when I've been in trouble of a Zoom call. So we want to make sure that you guys, have the understanding that we know what people are going through. We're all going through something very similar, and to ensure that when we are building our presentation to convey to these managers that they have the understanding and the empathy piece for what the true concerns are across for their employees.
So we got some great comments in chat. I'm going to start with Tiffany Trader. Empathy for me would be not being held accountable for furlough time, which, I mean, that kind of that almost seems like it would go without saying, but for some people that might be a real concern for them. So do you want to hit on that one, Kyle?
Yeah, go and repeat that for me one more time, Casey.
Empathy for me would be not being held accountable for furlough time.
Yeah, one of the things that's in our presentation already is the fact that there are things that are out of our control. Furloughs, we have FMLA, FFCRA. So those things are not going to be held against anybody in any year for evaluations. Those are kind of grace periods and harmless time off that's not going to affect you at any capacity. So we understand that. This is new to me for furloughs. I've never gone through anything like a furlough, but I think of it as time off that was out of your control, similar to if you are getting sick or going through some kind of treatment. You will not get knocked for any of those type of inquiries. So did I miss anything, Abel, on that? I think that message is pretty clear.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely clear. And again, going back to what you said, there's some things that are in our control, and there's some things that are just not, and they affected us. And so those things that in that sense would not be counted against you, so that you put it well put on how you said that.
Excellent. I really appreciate you guys going on a limb and talking about that for a second. I'm going to hit on 2 things. Nancy put in a really great comment about how old school evaluations always have to include weaknesses to work on. I think we're already aware of our weaknesses, but we really need to feel appreciated. Is there, can you talk about the training and how we're going to be talking to, because you guys haven't got to this point yet, but the training is really focused for managers on and how you're going to be talking to them about that.
Yes.
Yeah, I can start off. Go ahead, Abel.
Go ahead, Kyle.
No, I was going to say, I think, there is another section about how to have the conversation piece. How does the wording look like when you are trying to put together a scenario about maybe something the employee can work on? It's all about the tone and the approach, I think, from my experiences. While we all could work on something to get better at, I think if the tone and messaging is proper, then it doesn't feel like it's negative, if that makes any sense. And we do touch on that as well. There's a great video that we found on YouTube that really goes over 7 tips of the conversation and really how to set that tone to ensure that your message, even if it's trying to get the point across of maybe the employee improvement piece, that it's done in a way that the employee could walk out of that feeling encouraged to continue to do their best. Sorry about that, Abel.
No, you hit it right on the head. And for those that are worried about the recognition piece, again, that is a huge focus in the manager training that we're talking about. It goes along with the empathy piece, but part of it is, making sure that you recognize the good work that us as employees are doing throughout the year. I know that some of that focus is during the evaluation season once a year, but as Casey mentioned in our call at the very beginning, at least in HR, we have a kudos board. We have a system where we just show and recognize appreciation, throughout the week, throughout the month. So that should be happening throughout the year, not just once a year. So that good work that you're doing will be recognized. But regardless if it's not, or if there's improvement there that needs to be done in the training, we do address that. Again, part of the empathy piece is it's different, making sure that you give grace, but also that you do celebrate the transition that people have gone through from going from working from work to working from home, and the things that they're doing well. So again, to Kyle's point, the way we're approaching it is it should be an uplifting, good experience. You shouldn't be leaving that office just feeling down on yourself and just in turmoil. There's obviously things we can all work on, but we should also be celebrating the wins and the positive things that we are doing well. So again, that will be in the training as well.
Great.
And then I love this because I think Matt talked about how like we kind of live in a world where it's like 2 ends of the spectrum that we're constantly oscillating from. We have 2 different comments. That one is worrying about their work being unrecognized or overlooked because they're remote. And then there's another comment about those that are required to come on campus and putting in that extra effort. Like, how are we going to be talking to supervisors about like that kind of work because people have different perceptions of the work that they're putting in. Some people coming onto campus might feel that requires extra effort. I know this requires extra effort. But perception is a fun thing that way. Any words of comfort or wisdom for our attendees?
I think really, kudos to those that haven't left. We have essential services that they can't do their job without leaving the campus, such as custodians and, some of the cooks for some of the kids in the dorms. So I think they deserve for sure extra kudos, especially during times where, we're finding that the virus could be airborne or is it, by surface, by touch. And, people are really putting their life, so to speak, on the line, coming to work and interacting with those that are on campus. So I think, an extra understanding about what they're going through and what their concerns, that they're going through now, I think that's important. For most of us, it's really been trying to adjust how we do our everyday job, and in HR, it's sometimes difficult when you're consulting with an employee, over the phone, where you want to really be there and talk and understand their concerns and get their body language, because, you know, Tiffany Whitman on our team has to deal with these inquiries for FMLA. So it's hard showing that we understand virtually when we're not there. And those that have never left, that have concerns about, you know, their well-being and their safety, I think managers need to probably give them an extra pat on the back, because they're doing a fantastic job at keeping, you know, our offices clean, the kids fed, and we overlook a lot of those things. So we did a piece in our presentation regarding that, and and we did a piece about, you know, people that have not left the university and maybe their workload kind of went down. So as a manager, are we assigning extra tasks to them to ensure that they have a full workload to fulfill their, you know, their time card without having that time of not doing anything? So, Abel, anything to touch on that?
No, you really hit it on the head on that. And again, as we focus on the training for the managers training, we really are trying to be mindful of the things that you're saying, because the work has shifted. It looks different. It feels different. How are we recognizing the work that's being done? Everybody's situation may be a little bit different. And so, you know, those are great discussions we're going to be having, good examples that we'll be bringing up in the manager trainings, and making sure that we really hit that on the head, tying in again, going back to the empathy and grace this year being a little different. So I think you hit it on the head there, Kyle.
I guess I want to just say a quick kudos and thank you to this group. This is one of the more interactive sessions that we've had in chat. You guys are giving some great advice to one another and about what you're thinking about empathy and how you guys plan to approach evaluations. It's obvious that this has been on your guys' mind, and I think that will be a great asset to Kyle and Abel as they talk about like the process and empathy. I'm so proud of this community for already be thinking about this. Stephanie had thrown in chat that she's encouraging her group to share that the challenges that they have faced and how much more time it takes them to do certain tasks. Marianne is talking about the appreciation piece and celebrating the good things and that they have done and they might need to do moving forward. Anna has a very thoughtful comment about how workloads have shifted and changed and how people have been nimble and flexible in taking care of those things. I love this comment about self-evaluations. Y'all know that I'm a strengths nerd and I talk about self-awareness all the time, and a self-evaluation is a really good tool to do even before you go into your performance evaluation. So you have an idea of maybe what you want to talk about. So I would strongly encourage anybody for their own personal growth and self-awareness to reflect upon those things. And if you would like to have a strengths-based conversation, y'all know your nerd who would love to do that with you. But enough about me. Let's get back to Kyle and Abel. They have more slides, and I did not ignore Michelle Armstrong asking about deadlines and to-dos. These fine gentlemen have a slide later on about their actual training that outlines all that. I privately chatted her and told her we got her. Okay, next slide maybe. There we go. Speaking
Thanks,
of
Casey. Yeah, so like we discussed earlier, you know, we'll be conducting 10 or so presentations. We have 10 assigned presentations for each of the colleges. So what Abel did was he reached out to the different colleges across campus to solidify some time and a day to have training presented to, you know, their managers. And we'll have some makeup sessions, obviously. So we have about 10 or plus sessions that we're anticipating to have. It'll be campus-wide, so classified to professional staff, College of Engineering, Kobe, they'll all be touched. And it'll be for all levels of management, you know, supervisors up to, you know, VPs, executive vice president. I think Sean will hopefully attend one of our sessions. And we find that managers have great input as well. So we're looking really for them to kind of, give us some advice about what, they plan on doing. And, since they have peers that'll be, on the presentation with them, it'll allow them to get some good advice. But alongside with that, we will have an evaluation page that's updated. So we encourage you guys to check that. We have a awesome training video from Jackie Thorngard, who really made it simple for managers to understand how to fill out the form properly. And that's going to go a long way. So if you guys have any questions about that, we encourage you guys to view our updated webpage. Abel, am I missing anything regarding the training and signups?
No, I think you hit it on the head. The focus is and some of the good feedback that I received was that people actually enjoyed taking the training as a college or department. So that's kind of why we're kind of coming to you guys and doing those sessions as a group, hopefully to foster some of that social, or I guess that psychological safety within numbers, and you know your own people, you're taking the training together, and you feel comfortable asking questions and bringing up topics. So we are doing that campus-wide, again, 10 sessions. We'll have some room for makeup sessions and still allowing you guys time to have the conversation before the deadline. And so, we have tentatively scheduled that. We'll be sending out calendar invites to put that on your calendar for holds. And then some other email communications will be going out shortly. But yes, I think you hit it on the head. The websites will be updated and reflecting that. So feel free to jump on there. You can learn a little bit more about Kyle and I and who we are. You'll be seeing a lot of our ugly faces for the next couple of months. Well, mine's ugly. I mean, Kyle's better looking. But we'll be having some fun in the trainings too. So we like to have a little fun and make it meaningful, really truly meaningful, especially this year, making sure that we touch on those sticky topics.
And one of the things to note too, we also, Abel pulled some great data a couple of days ago regarding managers and who their direct reports are. So those that oversee, maybe 10, 15, 20 people, we want to help them. We want to ensure that we are able to make it easy for them, because as you guys know, or for those that are managers, that when it's time for evaluation season, it's very time consuming. So from an HR standpoint, what can we do to better service those that oversee many associates? So we have some ideas, and we'll be reaching out to those that oversee larger teams to ensure that we are able to help them and continue to service them as I think they would like, as they would enjoy. Like I said, it's very time consuming, so that's just one of the other things that we are going to be rolling out soon as well.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Kyle, and thanks for adding that to the conversation. So yeah, anything that we can do to help, you guys and managers to make this an easier transition this year, we're here for you. Branded, we're here for you. So we want to make that easy for you in any way we can. I think we just have one more slide, right, Casey? I think we wanted to touch base on what's coming next.
Yes.
So
go.
So as we move through this season, the great thing is a lot of this stuff is going to continue to improve as we go through next year's evaluation season. And some of the things that we're looking at doing, and this is very high level, and as we continue to solidify this and get feedback and just input, some of this stuff will be more solid. But some of the things that we'd like to do is moving forward is maybe do some more regular check-ins, and making sure that you're really connecting, if you haven't already or if you aren't already, with your supervisor more than just once a year, right? So we're making sure that it's in a cadence that provides feedback, opportunities for recognition, formally and informally, making sure that supervisors and employees are talking to each other and creating goals, knowing what your career path wants to be, where you want to go, what you're struggling with. So we want it to be more of a dialogue. We want it to be more value add than just the once a year recognition conversation. So that's something that we're looking at doing. Obviously helping with your career pathing and growth plan, and developing you as a person. Because again, our focus is, while you're with us, we want to make sure that you are growing professionally, that you are hitting your goals, the things that you want, that we're providing that the best we can as a university, as a team, as a manager or supervisor. And so we want to be able to leverage those resources, and we want to be able to help you. But in order to do that, we really need to be communicating and checking in more frequently and having that dialogue. Because life happens, right? People's lives change. Maybe you have a family, you're growing a family, and now all of a sudden you decide you don't want to go get a master's. Maybe your focus is that you do want to go back to school. Maybe your focus is you want to be a project manager, or you want to be in IT. And so, being able to have those discussions and being honest and forward thinking, and having that conversation confidentially, but also having that trust will help all of us, I think, be happier and be able to grow and find our path to where it makes us happy. And so that's our focus, right? So growth is focused on your growth and every facet that word entails. But some of those things are coming up. It's going to be really awesome. We won't reveal all the hats, tricks, but we haven't, to be honest, we're still looking at things. And so we'd love feedback too. We're open for input, and you guys have great ideas. Some of you that I'm looking at, and some of you that I've worked with, some of you are maybe already doing that within your own college or respective area. And you may have great ideas to put forward towards us as we look at that as a campus-wide initiative. So I will pause there and close my big mouth. Did I miss anything? Any thoughts from any of you, my colleagues? Anything else to add?
I think you hit it, Abel.
I saw a couple people almost have something, so I'm going to give you guys a second in chat if you have thoughts on that. One of the things, I'm going to see if I can get out of this, that Abel had mentioned is that a lot of things are coming, right? So we have Growing at Boise State is a web page. There's really only one thing on it right now, and that is the annual performance evaluations. All of these other things are really coming. Oh yeah, we have our amazing growth team though. You should go check out their bios. And did you know that if you want to know anything about the Seattle Seahawks, you can hit up Tiffany Trader. She is a genius on that. Anyways, so this web page is going to be growing as the growth team solidifies their projects, and we will be bringing them to the Fireside chat to have conversations about ongoing initiatives and different trainings that are coming up. But so be patient if the website seems a little empty, or if some of our our topics are to be determined or still in progress, because there's only so many of us. I think this is the end of you guys' presentation. You guys just had questions.
Let's take a look at the questions. Casey, would you mind reading those off? I can pull up the chat too.
Well, we did have one question that I don't know if we can answer. That was a question about a concern about end of the semester student evaluations for faculty, and students have different expectations. So how are student evaluations going to be part of that process? And I don't know if that's a conversation we can have now, but I did want to bring it up that it is something that's going to be on our radar.
And Tiffany Trader or anybody else on the team that wants to jump in, maybe have some more insights as to that. And are we talking student evals for our faculty employees? Okay.
Yeah.
I can jump in real quick. I know Tony had information going out there about faculty evaluations, so I was going to ping him real quick and just make sure I was going to read through what he had and how those evaluations are going to be taken into consideration, or if they're not going to be taken into consideration. And we can get that out in this email when Casey sends this information out. We'll get that in there as well.
Yeah, when we do our recap email, plus we can add it to the annual performance evaluation webpage. I just want to make sure that all of our questions that come in, even the ones that are coming in anonymously, get the screen time that they deserve. A lot more of our questions had to do with technology and due dates and stuff, which you guys will totally cover in your actual training that you guys do. This is more of a culture taste for and a promo for go hang out with Abel and Kyle, learn more about performance.
Yes, it's the trailer teaser trailer for the movie, right? So
super long and interactive one.
Yeah. We're excited to see all your faces though in the training coming up, which will be starting in December. So excited to see you guys. Please bring your thoughts, questions, and we hope to see you there at the training.
I'm gonna turn over this time to you guys, who we still have 47 participants on the call. That's probably including me. So go ahead. If you have questions for Kyle and Abel, this is your time. If you have questions for anybody in the HR team, you have our welcome manager, our growth manager, our AVP is on the line. Our benefit, or one of her benefits person is here. We're here for you if you have questions. If not, I will be giving you your time back. Insert Zoom pause starting now. I hate this part. It's my least favorite. And you guys get to hear excited kids. Okay.
I am excited. I am excited. On that,
She has like the best comedic timing being right behind me. Okay, everyone. Thank you for. We're done now. Thank you. Okay, thanks everybody for joining. I'll see you guys on December 1st, because remember, hey, we're not doing next week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving break. Take some downtime. Remember gratitude and grace to finish off this year. And thank you again to Abel and Kyle for walking us through your upcoming training. I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Everybody in December.
Bye. Bye, million people.
Yeah, leave it to my kids to mic off for me.